Picture this. It's 2027, and the world is watching a new kind of race. This isn't about roaring engines or daring overtakes, it's a global showdown for the future of mobility. On one side, Team China, the fast-rising challenger. On the other, Team Europe, the old guard, steeped in automotive tradition. The prize: dominance in the electric vehicle market, and the power to shape the next century of transportation. For decades, Europe set the standard for family cars, German engineering, Italian flair, French comfort. But, as the world pivoted to electric, China built a new industry from scratch, focusing on batteries, software, and mass production at a scale no one expected. Now, the established order is under pressure. This isn't just about cars, it's a clash of philosophies. China's approach: speed, scale, and affordability. Massive factories, control over raw materials, and tech-packed cars at low prices. Europe's response: heritage, quality, and innovation. They're leveraging their legacy and pushing to catch up. It's a tortoise and hare story, except the hare has a head start, and the tortoise is turbocharged. The battle plays out everywhere: showrooms, factories, government offices, and research labs. Over the next few scenes, we'll dive into what each side brings to the fight, and who might take the lead as the decade closes. Fasten your seatbelts. This race is just getting started. The outcome will shape jobs, industries, and the rules of the road for generations. It's not just about who sells the most cars, it's about who sets the pace for the future. The flag is down and the world is watching. Let's see who's really in pole position. The race for the future is on. China's EV rise is nothing short of remarkable. They didn't just join the race, they built the track. Their secret: scale. Gigantic factories churn out hundreds of thousands of cars, driving costs down. But it's more than just numbers. China invested early in the battery supply chain, controlling everything from mining to assembly. This gives them a steady, affordable supply of the most crucial EV component. Brands like BYD and MG, now Chinese-owned, are everywhere, offering tech-packed cars at prices that undercut rivals. These vehicles come loaded with features: big screens, advanced driver aids, at a price that's hard to ignore. The result: a flood of Chinese EVs landing in ports worldwide, from Rotterdam to Sydney. Their strategy is simple: make EVs accessible and irresistible to first-time buyers. China isn't knocking on the door anymore. They've moved in and started redecorating. Their head start is massive, and they're setting the pace for everyone else. The world is now playing catch-up. China's momentum is undeniable. Europe's car industry isn't backing down, it's fighting back. The response: a total overhaul, billions invested in new electric models and local production. European giants like Volkswagen and Renault are building gigafactories at home, aiming for self-sufficiency and job protection. Battery production is coming back to Europe, with companies like Northvolt leading the charge. The goal: control the supply chain, innovate locally, and make the process greener. Europe is also pushing for a circular economy, recycling old batteries to recover valuable materials and reduce environmental impact. This strategy plays to Europe's strengths: engineering, sustainability, and high standards. The fight back is happening on every front: factories, labs, and recycling plants. Europe's not just catching up, it's reinventing itself for the electric age. The giant is wide awake. The EV race isn't just about technology, it's shaped by government policies. Europe uses incentives and grants to make EVs more affordable, while tightening rules on petrol cars. Planned bans on new petrol and diesel sales force car makers to go electric. Policies also favor locally built EVs, fueling investment in European factories and jobs. China, meanwhile, built its lead with massive subsidies and a nationwide charging network, creating a huge domestic market before exporting. Now, Europe is using its own policy playbook to level the field. The rules of the game are changing, and they matter as much as the cars themselves. Policy is the hidden engine driving this race. The UK isn't building the most EVs, but it's shaping the brains of tomorrow's cars. British tech firms are pioneering open-source software for advanced driver assistance systems, think Android for cars. This approach lets even small car makers offer high-end safety features, speeding up innovation and cutting costs. The UK is also leading in zonal architecture, simplifying car wiring by dividing vehicles into zones, each with its own computer. This makes cars lighter, cheaper, and easier to upgrade. New features can be added with a simple software update. The result? Cars that evolve over time, just like your smartphone. By focusing on high-value tech, the UK is becoming a vital partner for global car makers. It's not about building the most cars, it's about building the smartest ones. The UK's niche is clear innovation at the core. Clever tech is the UK's ticket to the future. At the heart of the EV race is the battery, the most expensive and crucial component. China dominates lithium-ion battery production, thanks to early investment and massive scale. But the next frontier is solid-state batteries, lighter, safer, and with more range. Europe, Japan, and the US are racing to crack this technology. A breakthrough could shift the balance overnight. Huge investments are pouring into battery research and recycling, aiming for sustainability and supply security. Reducing reliance on controversial materials and boosting recycling are key to Europe's strategy. Whoever leads in battery tech will likely lead the EV market. The battery battle is fierce, and its outcome will decide the winner. Innovation here is the ultimate game changer. The future runs on batteries. The EV contest is now a political chess match. Tariffs are the new weapon. Europe is considering tariffs on Chinese EVs, arguing that state subsidies give them an unfair edge. Tariffs could protect European jobs and give local car makers breathing room, but they risk higher prices for consumers and possible trade wars. China calls this protectionism, insisting their success is built on innovation and efficiency. The stakes are huge. Decisions on tariffs will shape prices, brands, and the pace of the EV transition. It's not just business, it's geopolitics. The next moves will echo for years. The outcome? Still uncertain. The game is on. Let's compare the contenders. Team China, masters of scale, speed, and affordability. They control the battery supply chain and offer tech-packed cars at unbeatable prices. Their strategy: win with volume and value, making EVs accessible to all. Weakness: less brand heritage. Trust takes time to build. Team Europe, rich in legacy, engineering, and brand power. Their cars promise quality and prestige. Their strategy: leverage reputation, focus on design and sustainability, and invest in local production. Weakness? A slow start and higher costs, making it tough to compete on price for entry-level cars. Europe is betting that buyers will pay more for trusted brands and local jobs. It's a clash of disruptive innovation versus established quality. Both sides are evolving fast. The race is neck and neck. The winner still up for grabs. Here we are, 2027, and the race is wide open. China leads with scale, speed, and affordability, aiming to dominate the mass market. Europe counters with heritage, quality, and a massive push for self-sufficiency and sustainability. The competition is fierce, but it's making everyone better. More choice, better tech, and sharper prices for consumers. The UK, meanwhile, is carving out a role as the tech innovator. Who will win? China's vertical integration and scale, or Europe's brand loyalty and industrial fightback? The answer isn't clear yet. The final lap is still ahead. One thing's certain: the real winner, for now, is the consumer. The future of driving is being decided right now. Which side do you think has the edge?